夜の上に咲いて満ちて生きる様子が傷も嘘も痛みも歌になる夢を愛を書いて何を救えますか海はそれを覚める光になれ
Reggie is one of the members, and his locomotive is the Alenia J17. Reggie is not strong as the other members, but he always tried his best. One morning, Reggie was delivering some freight trains full of mail. He drove across the island and up Golden Windys Hill. Golden Windys Hill was very steep. It was a long climb. Just then, Golden Windy arrived at the bottom of the hill. Today, the express was heavy, and Golden Windy had to wait for Ben Dennis to help. Bother! Soon Ben Dennis arrived to the rescue. The train bubbled up behind Golden Windy's express, and Ben Dennis's locomotive pushed, and Golden Windy's locomotive pulled. At last, the express train started to move. Reggie had finally reached the top of the hill when Golden Windy drive past. Slowpoke, I'm trying my hardest. You're not even a proper person. This makes Reggie feel very sad. That night, the Robert FM controller came to see Reggie. Ben Dennis is needed at the harbor, so you will have to work at Sallyton's yard in his place. But I'll never be to do Ben Dennis's job. He's a proper person. Nonsense. You are one of my members, and you must be useful. Reggie was worried. What if he wasn't useful? So the next morning, Reggie drives nervously out of the sheds. I hope no one needs pushing up the freight trains on Golden Windy's hill. Reggie wished he was a proper person. At last, Reggie arrived at Sallyton's yard. There were lots of freight trains and they looked very heavy. Aw, now I'll never be to do some shunting train jobs. You can do it, Reggie. That made Reggie feel much better. Then he started to do some shunting train jobs. He shunted the coal freight trains for Derek, a slate cars for Josh, and even he shunted the freight trains full of fruits and vegetables for Jasper. Maybe I can do it. But then, Golden Windy drive past. He was taking the express with lots of passenger train cars. Reggie watched as Golden Windy drive towards the hill. Golden Windy drive with all his might, but once again the express was too heavy and Golden Windy's locomotive was stopped. Bother! Golden Windy's crewmates called the yard manager, and the yard manager came to see Reggie. You need to help Golden Windy to push the express to top of the hill. Yes, sir, but Golden Windy's locomotive is much too heavy. Don't worry, you can do it. I believe in you. Oh, I try my best. And he set off to Golden Windy's hill. When Golden Windy heard that Reggie was coming, he was very angry. What a slowpoke. Reggie's locomotive buffered up behind Golden Windy's express. Then he made his locomotive push with all his might. Golden Windy's locomotive didn't move. Is that the best you can do? They should have sent a proper person. Reggie was about to give up, but then he remembered what I had said. I can do it. Then the J17 class tram locomotive pushed harder and harder. Then suddenly, Golden Windy's locomotive's wheels started to move. Reggie's locomotive kept pushing. The engine roared and the axles ached. Golden Windy's locomotive slowly up the hill. When Wilton saw Reggie's locomotive pushing, he blew the whistle with excitement. You can do it, Reggie! Go on! Reggie's locomotive puffed and puffed and chuffed, but at last, the tram locomotive pushed Golden Windy's locomotive right to the top of the hill. Golden Windy was impressed, and now his express would run on time. Reggie was tired, but he was very proud. I did it! That night, the Robert as a controller came to see Reggie. Today, you are a very useful member indeed. Thank you, sir. And even though Reggie was a steam tram train driver, he felt like a proper member after all.